Ags win 34 to nothing. It is progress, although we got a lot of stuff to work on. Really excited about this game. Defense looked amazing. They stole the show. Pitching a shutout, looking just like the Wyatt Earp I thought they did. Taking down Johnny Tyler, telling him, hey, you going to do something or just stand there and bleed? Man, they were out for blood today. That was an incredible effort by them. Right at about 100 yards given up for the whole game, I believe. They might have got a little more than that in garbage time. Um, but show stealer right there. That defense is something amazing. Even the backups are looking really well. Tyreek Chappell coming in, making some plays. Um, who else do we see? Edrin Cooper getting an interception on the deflection, and he really played some serviceable snaps at linebacker. So really great to see him. We definitely pulled a few guys so that we could conserve injuries for next week because we're going to have a physical game next week against Arkansas. But a lot of good guys coming through. Defensive line is deep. We saw McKinley Jackson get back in there and kind of get his feet underneath him. Clemens is a beast. Leal is a beast. Whoa! I mean, I can't wait to see the final stat line because I want to know how many sacks we got. Shamar Turner again putting out a really good effort. Rakes right behind him, and then Adarius Jones again giving us really fantastic effort. So we look really good there. Miles Jones back in, kind of getting his feet underneath him as well. Played well. Had a couple things he'd probably like to take back. And then Jalen Jones holding down the other side. So we're looking pretty good on the defensive side. Very excited about that. I'm almost thinking Wrecking Crew. I mean, sure, you pitch a shutout. Yes, it's New Mexico. So let's see what they do against Arkansas, and then I'll have a better idea, I think. The other story of the game, probably, though, is the offensive line. Calzada looked very, very good today, I thought. Yeah, a few things still there, but between last week and this week, I'm really interested to see what the game grade I'm going to be able to give on him. I think he passed for about 250, at least two, maybe three touchdowns. I think that last one to Moose Muhammad made it three. Did have the one interception. Probably forced that one. Okay, but hey, take a few risks. I think there was actually ended up being a couple of things that he left on the table. So the issue is that the offensive line's got to play in a way that's going to give him a chance. We can't get pressures up the middle. We can't have these quote unquote jailbreaks right through the center, or even anywhere. To be quite frank, to getting around the edge, it looked a little bit, at least at times, like guys didn't know their assignments, which was odd because the first two drives they were looking lights out. I thought for sure. I was like, oh no, this is going to get real bad. I was going to call this one a rusty bucket stomp, which it was, but I think it looked like we had 50 points out there. We finished up with 34. 50 did not look out of the question. I think we should have got that 50, but we're going to have more consistent play from the offensive line. And it's plain and simple. So it was a little bit plug and play this time. Layden Robinson, he's out. He's a little banged up, a little nicked, so gave him some recovery time. It's probably wise because we're going to need him against a physical Arkansas team. Foster was in the middle again. We rotated a little bit at right tackle. Kenyon Green, he came in to right guard a couple times. Didn't really look like his natural position. And then we had Trainer sometimes on the right tackle side. Again, he looked a little bit out of place. Left side, Jameer Johnson plays pretty good game. Gets a little banged up as well. Aggie, good consistent effort there too. But we're missing assignments, and I don't know about the communication, if we know where things are coming from. It looked better considering from last week, but still some things we're going to have to clean up. Wide receivers. We gotta have more consistent play there too. So and I think things flow from the offensive line, but we've got some drop balls that have got to stop. And we got some young guys who are hungry, who are willing to make that stop. So what are we going to do from here? Well, you saw Demas get his 70-yard touchdown. We've been waiting for that all year. Thankfully, it finally came. But there were a couple mistakes there, too. A couple routes run, imprecisely. So some things he's going to need to clean up as well. It's great to have that deep threat down the field, but when we need a first down, we've got to run those routes right so we can get that. Calzada threw a couple times, it wasn't there. Running backs, good job. We even saw L.J. Johnson get a few carries at the end. Amari Daniels as well. Both look very serviceable. Hoping they'll be able to redshirt this year still. And Spiller and Chain did their thing. Good solid game. I was hoping they'd both get closer to 100 yards, but with the inconsistency blocking, it's just not there right now. Getting Layden Robinson back will hopefully help that. It will solidify that right side, moving Kenyon back out to right tackle. Foster improves again in the middle. Aggie plays solid, and Jameer's good. Just hopefully he's not too banged up for next week. Special teams looked a lot better this time around, and Nias, I heard he's in concussion protocol, so we'll see if he's available next week and how long that takes. He was much more decisive today, so that was great to see from him. I know he'd like to have a few of those passes back, but on special teams, it was one move and go, and it paid off. And we didn't have a bad block in the back or a hold or something, right? So a lot of potential there, and I hope he sees that because getting 10, 15 yards on that side of the ball to give us the difference between us starting on the 50 versus our own 35, big deal. Give it 2 possessions and maybe we're now starting on their 40. That's a big part of the game. The blocking downfield, it looked to me, was much better. And so if we can continue this growth, we'll be in good shape. I think right now I'm going to put this game against Arkansas, provided I get to see what they do this evening. I got it at 50-50 right now. Our defense is really holding us up there. I might have it a little lower, to be honest, because Arkansas looked good against Texas. But if our offense can continue to grow, then I'm going to give us the edge and put it back in maybe 60-40. From there, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. But Calzada, he can be the guy. I'm very excited about that. He can be the guy. And let's see what happens as the narrative grows, see what scene we want to take next week out of Tombstone. I'm hoping it's a little bit more side of the showdown with Doc Holliday. And but we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna go chasing. We're gonna go see what we can do. It'll be at Cowboy Stadium, and it's gonna be exciting. But we got to make some growth. So let's see what happens, and then we'll reevaluate, and we'll look for a preview for that game coming up later this week, and a game grade for this game coming soon. So we'll see you then. Gig 'em.